Hey guys, what's going on? Duelist here. I'm just working on getting my Glock 23 stippled. I had done the trigger undercut a couple years ago when I first got this one, and I started cleaning that up. Put the Dremel back in, although I think some of the original dremeling I did put some pretty deep grooves in it. And then I came back today with the Dremel again and used some different weight sandpaper or grit sandpaper to try and clean that up and smooth it out a little bit. It's definitely much smoother feeling. Right now I'm just doing some more testing on stippling. I'm kind of picky about this stuff, and I'm sure it's not going to be perfect. Of course not. It's the first time I'm going to do it, but just trying out some different patterns and getting some techniques together. I've been looking online at different ideas of stuff that I like, and I'll probably roll some images of that in here. But I want to take you guys along for the journey. Obviously, not a professional, first time doing it. There's definitely some great guys out there. I really like the stuff that Lander's Weapons Solutions does. I'll put a link to his stuff down below. But I don't have a couple $100 to send out of a frame, so maybe if I screw this up royally, I will. But right now, just something to do, something to try out, and let's see how it goes. Got my little Harbor Freight wood burner here, and I was trying the fine point tip on here, just on the bottom of this base plate, and this looks kind of messy because I wasn't trying to be super clean. I was just trying different techniques, see how the polymer reacted if I pushed it. Like if I pushed it here, if I dragged, the point along the end, what would happen. I don't think I'm going to go for the pointed style. I don't really like the way that looks. I saw a guy online earlier, I'll try and link below, who's using a wider tip, and I kind of liked his technique. So I'm going to see how that goes too. I'm going to try out a couple of different things. I think the first couple things I'm going to stipple is this back plate for the slide. I think that's what it's called, but it's just the back part of the slide that covers everything up. This is the original one, and I actually gouged it trying to get it off one time. Silly me. Should have been a little more careful. But I have a replacement on there now, and I figure this one's scratched, not going to use anyway. Why ruin the good one if I screw it up when I try this one? So I'm going to try with this one, see how that goes. If that goes well, I'm going to switch off to the bottom of the trigger guard, and then I'll get into doing all the sanding and all the prep work on the rest of the pistol. Just as a refresher, here's some test work I did on this Magpul MOE carbine handguard that I had that I'm not using anymore, to different styles. And I kind of like the way this stuff feels, but I didn't really like the way it looked. And I'd used the wide point before, but I didn't try a random pattern like I'd seen him done. I'd done kind of this angle one, but I think this is the wide point right here. So I'm going to try doing that back and forth once this thing cools down. So another thing I did was take a couple pictures of the Glock and then begin to mock it up in Photoshop where I wanted the outlines to go of the stippling. And this is where I'm at now, where I'm going to do the support hand side on both sides, but then I'm going to curve it here, stay underneath the slide release, I don't know, whatever you want to call that, ledge, come back here, curve down to meet the back side of the pinhole, and then use the bottom side of the pinhole to wrap around the back to leave the back of the beaver tail smooth for my hand. And then the front, I'm going to come down through the on the front side, I'm going to come down through the mag. I'll keep on to call it the mag catch, but mag release, I guess it is a catch too. Through the mag release, and then across where the finger grooves start, and again leave under here smooth for my finger. As you see, that beforehand it was a little rougher. I cleaned this up a little bit, but again, kind of a bad edge on there. Hopefully going to be able to leave the Glock logo exposed there, and then I might come all the way down to the bottom. I might not. I'm looking at getting one of the Magpul cheapo mag wells, but they're not available, so I'll probably have to come back and sand this off to give room for that. And then on the right side, I've got some, actually, let me show you that. I had some other source material, from Instagram, so I kind of like the way he did it here, where he came up under here, but I didn't like how high it was up here, and I don't really like this pattern, and I'm not going to try doing the scallop around the magazine release. And then this one, I think this is a Lander's. He had kind of angled edges. That's kind of cool. Maybe I'll go that route. but this is all the way down to a mag well with an angle cut there, which is kind of cool. I think that's it for the side. The other side, again, I'm going to do up here for the fingers, even though really that's only going to be for my trigger finger when I'm not on the trigger. And then over here, I'm going to do the same. I moved the tape a little bit from when I took the picture, but do the same thing over here. Come down through the other side of the mag release, and then I have it here curved under the finger, under the trigger guard, but I'm probably just going to come straight down again. Obviously, I would do the same thing on both sides, but I was just trying something out. And then again, I have some other source material. I really like this camo paint job here, and then this one as well. Alright, so I switched back to the super fine tip, tried a couple different things. I was trying to get I used the fat tip before, the wide tip, to try and get an outline. It was just a big solid mess. So I tried to do dots, and there's no way I'm going to be able to get a straight line of dots. So I started dragging it a little bit, and I thought, okay, well maybe if I drag it and I use a straight edge, like this ruler here that I use to kill all the spiders that show up in this house. Let's see if you can see that there. Let me move this light. I laid the straight edge down and just dragged it smoothly across. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to swap out the tips again and see how it works there with the fat tip and the edge. Alright, so I think the middle came out pretty good. The edge here, I had the edge, and I went over it, and then I was like, I saw the line, I wasn't satisfied with the line, so I went over a little bit over there, and I'm thinking about coming back. I've got the tiny tip back on, and I'm probably going to come back and do that line again over it and see how that works. Again, I still feel like this is kind of experimentation zone because it's not really going to be super visible. Alright, so again, I put that edge in. As you can see, it's not perfectly straight, and then I've got a bunch of double marks here, but I think that's a lesson in don't overthink it. I tend to be a perfectionist, and I think it was good the first time, but I like it without the borders, definitely, if I can do it right. And I was thinking about bringing this all the way to the end, but I like how there's sort of a function to it, to where it's only here, so I think that form follows function, as that saying goes, where things look nice when they're functional, and I feel like this tells me where my finger is supposed to go. My other finger goes here, and then having this extra feature here of it's being smooth over here shows that this is functional. But again, that's just how I think, so let's see how this goes. So the fun part next is doing all the sanding, and that's going to take a little while. I want to do that right, but I definitely think it fits real nice. My wife was just down here, was holding it, said, yeah, it's like you're not even holding anything, it's so smooth under here. But you see, this is obviously my wrong hand, but good up there. Plenty of room to get your finger in there and not let it cut. And I think it looks pretty good for a first time. Now the question is, do I keep this or sand it? And I think that'll be a thing for the end. So a quick tip for doing this, I think the first time I used a Dremel, I just did it by hand, is just put it in a little vise. Obviously you want some soft jaws on here because you don't want to mar the gun, and you definitely don't want to tighten it too much, just enough to kind of hold it so you can still move it. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Please like, favorite, subscribe, all that good stuff. Got a mess going on back here because I was looking for stuff and moved my printer so I don't get any sanding dust on it. But stay tuned for more videos, and may God bless you, and keep standing up for what's right. I can't stress that enough, seeing all the news lately, people tearing down things. I mean, I'm not a Confederate person, but they're going around just arbitrarily, like, destroying monuments. I mean, Abraham Lincoln, give me a break. Abraham Lincoln was from the North, was about freeing slaves. I mean, I know that wasn't his main course, but that's the way history likes to remember him. And they're defacing his monument as well. I mean, society's gone nuts, absolutely nuts. So please keep standing up for what's right. We saw it the other day when PayPal wanted to defund some, Jihad Watch, I think it was, .org, and then people spoke out on Twitter, and PayPal reinstated it again. So we need to stand up for what's right. Women like, was it Diamond and Silk, they're getting demonetized for not even, just for not following the narrative. It's absolutely ridiculous. So please keep standing up for what's right. May God bless you, and see you in the next one.